Video games based on movies could go many different paths. You could literally feel like you live in the movie. You could even add stuff that wasn't in the movie. Or just make a giant heap of Let's go on to things I like about certain video games. Let's talk about this one first. Cause may be a racing game, but the way it's done is immaculate. The visuals, the open world, just how fun this game is, and some of the voice actors still being the same.
Oh yeah, I am good.
I replayed this one recently, and oh my god, it is the greatest game I have played in a while. Very unique from all the platformers. Now, we've talked about a game I like. Now, let's go on to one I absolutely hate. This one might be pretty controversial. Meet the Robinsons. Now, don't get me wrong, Meet the Robinsons is a spectacular film. Even Buzz Lightyear and Shazam love it so much. But the game, bro. Like, hey, this first level was spectacular. Wilbur escaping ancient Egypt. I thought it was super fun to play. And then the next level is...
Have you taken out the garbage yet?
No, but I'm dying to do it.
This first level was spectacular. The whole game had potential to be like this. But the fact that there aren't any other suspenseful levels like this makes me super pissed. There is a lot I have to say about this game, but I'm just gonna speedrun it. No jump button, and the time missions are just way too hard. Oh, and how could I forget that Lewis is on the cover? He was in the game for 10 seconds. You know what? This game is super dishonest, so let's make an honest cover. Alright, after about 5 minutes of editing, I think we got a pretty honest cover about the game. We are now going to talk about two very, very spectacular Nick games, also inspired by Nickelodeon movies. So let's go ahead and talk about why the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is such a damn good game. Like, holy shit. I love how open this game is. There's free driving around in the paddy wagon if you play Sandwich Driving 101 back and forth. It's very nice. Another thing I loved about this game was getting all the special attacks too. But then when you reach the second half of the game and you're fighting all these bosses, you're like, damn, they did all of this for a SpongeBob game? I could go on for hours about how much I love this game, but we gotta talk about why Barnyard is a spectacular platformer. In this game, you basically played as yourself, and you were friends with all the other Barnyard characters, and it was so much fun. Unlike Meet the Robinsons, Barnyard does a much better job with its minigames. This was my absolute favorite mission. I replayed this one for literal hours. I loved it that much. This game was just so open, especially with the bike mode. That mode was fun. The honeybees weren't as fun, but it was still a good game. Also, was I the only one who drove recklessly in this game? But now we gotta talk about another game that just is not that good. Shrek the Third. This game had, like, literally no love put into it. It doesn't make you feel like you live in the movie whatsoever. No hate to the voice actors, but seriously, this is not where they should have been casted.
You're like 20 feet from where you started. Out of the way, let's go.
Itty bitty doorway. Allow me. I
do think Puss in Boots' voice actor did pretty good, but still, I feel like it could have been better. However, Puss in Boots' gameplay is solid for this game, not gonna lie. And when you're coming off the video game of Shrek 2, you're expecting a lot. But I'll just let Sub-Zero do the talking real quick.
Such wasted potential.
It's better than Meet the Robinsons, but seriously, they could have done so much more for this game. Some of the DreamWorks games just don't do too well, and Shark Tale is another great example of that. The game isn't that bad. The voice actors are actually quite good in this one. And these missions are so much fun where you're being chased by a shark. But a lot like most of the other games that didn't do too well on this list, there's one flaw. And it's these stupid dance missions. These missions were just way too difficult for the demographic of children that this game was targeting. While Shark Tale may have its problems with those stupid damn dancing missions, at least it's nowhere near as bad as the Finding Nemo video game. I'm like almost positive that they only put effort into the backgrounds because these models look like shit. And if you thought that was bad, just listen to Marlin's voice.
Okay, I'll meet you there, ready to go to school.
I never thought I'd say this, but I like the Shark Tale game better than Finding Nemo. What the fuck? If you play the Toy Story 3 game, you're gonna have one hell of a time because this game is fantastic. It's full of really fun missions, even a free roaming world called Woody's Roundup, which a lot of you might recognize. But we're going to be only talking about the story. But as you guys can see, you're starting here as Woody and Bullseye as you ride and fight Dr. Porkchop. Then you get on the train to save the orphans, and you also get to see Buzz Lightyear flying around, which is really, really cool. But in all honesty, this is one of the best movie platformers in history. But you ask anyone, they're going to tell you Buzz video game is the best level in the game. Pretty much it lets you play the game Rex was playing in Toy Story 2's opening scene. So I think I've talked about quite a lot of games. But now I think we need to answer this question. What makes a good movie game? This is my thought on what makes a good movie game. The first idea comes from the ability to live the world in a movie game. Toy Story 3 and B-Movie Game do a spectacular job on this. I've already spoken on Toy Story 3, so we're going to talk about B-Movie Game. When I first saw this scene, I felt bad for Barry, and I was like, man, that must be very damn scary to be in. Sorry. And B-Movie Game did a good job of recreating it, yet still making you feel like you live inside this fight scene. Very nice job, B-Movie Game. The next one. Are you the character? And no, I don't mean which character are you BuzzFeed articles. So let's take a look at The Incredibles. You are playing around as Mr. Incredible, but do you feel like Mr. Incredible when you play? Or like you're just pressing keys? And the last thing, don't be Meet the Robinsons.